Hi. With my hair sticking up everywhere and everything, I decided to just hop on, do a video, and we're not gonna do a reading and we're not gonna do a craft chat. We're just gonna hang out and check in. Felt moved to just be here and start talking to you. Okay. I have sandalwood incense going right now, and I discovered, or doing a quick internet search, I discovered that sandalwood is for purification, peace, and spiritual connection, I believe. Specifically like purifying like people, places, things, and to kind of prepare you for being in a spiritual, meditative place. So we could do that. That's awesome. I guess I feel moved to share some ways in which I am either currently taking care of myself or have ideas to take care of myself. And also, if you have any other ideas, drop them in the comments below. Let's talk about taking care of ourselves. First thing, because I've already kind of gone off about this in my best friend's Twitch stream earlier, I like to do this thing that I call a goddess bath, and it's really not a big deal, but it's less about what you're doing and more about the mindset you're in when you're doing it. So it's just your tub, if you have a tub, just as hot as you can handle it, some Epsom salt, and your favorite essential oils. Today I soaked in lavender, sandalwood, and frankincense, which, the sandalwood came up again with the smell. I'm not actually a sandalwood person, but I like to wear it for like a really weird cinematic petty reason. Am I telling? We're gonna pause for a quick aside. Why I like to use sandalwood oil is super weird and strange and petty, but there's this movie called The 10 Commandments, from like 1956 or some shit, I don't know. And it's one of my favorite movies, actually, because I like to watch it every Passover and every Easter, because it's an Easter movie, and so there's this like kind of sub story in the plot of this Moses story, about a girl, unfortunately gorgeous, and the master builder for Pharaoh sees her and basically kidnaps her, and like nothing good's coming from that, of course. Like, he just wants to like have his way with her and send her back, and she's crying, as after he kidnaps her. Actually, no, before he kidnaps her, she's brought to him, like, in front of everyone, working, and she starts crying, and she's like, please don't take me from my people. And he goes, tears, when your hair is, like, combed in sandalwood and your skin is treated with the finest of this and that, like, there'll be no time for tears. And it was just so, like, I remembered, like, as an adult watching it, I had this visceral reaction as an assault survivor, where, like, like, a lot of predators like to try to dress it up as though, like, I have no need of dignity when I'm being doted over like an object. And so I felt like, similarly to the N-word, I needed to reclaim something, and you know, sandalwood has all of these wonderful, beautiful properties outside of, you know, the use in that scene in that movie that had, you know, given me a reaction. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna bathe my hair in sandalwood for me, you know, not, you know, because that's what I get to do for me. And so that's just kind of like, I know I have like sandalwood in hair products that I make for my locks. So I think I'm always smelling like that, even though I'm more of like a jasmine person. But that's just like a quick aside. But yeah, goddess bath, let's romanticize our lives, like Epsom salt, your favorite essential oils, like I said, lavender, sandalwood, frankincense, all amazing for, you know, calming, purification, spiritual connection. Have the hot water as hot as I can have it, and maybe bubble bath if I have like a bubble bath or something like that, and I'll just soak in there until I'm kind of tired of being in there. But what I really like to do is I'll have the TV blasting like either like nature sounds or like romantic ambient music, or I'll put it in my headphones, but usually I like the whole house to just feel like it's my little vacation hotel room when I'm by myself. And so then I'll light some incense, which earlier, before I started this video, I had coconut lemongrass and honeysuckle going because they're just my favorite. There was no spiritual significance to it. I'm sure there is, but I didn't look it up. I just like those two fragrances. Honeysuckle makes me remember like good times in my childhood, and coconut lemongrass just makes me feel like I'm in the Caribbean, and I desperately miss being in the Caribbean. I don't feel like I ever got a chance to be home long enough to feel at home, and so it's just, you know, the incense makes me feel like I kind of get to be there a little bit. And I'll turn all the lights off, and I have these little like lights, like battery operated lights you can use like 3 AA batteries for, and they'll like, you know, and they're like wire wrapped kind, so you can kind of like move them and tweak them however you want. And I'll put it around the sink, or I'll like drape it over the shower curtain, you know, if I'm feeling brave. Obviously I'll like hook it on something so I know it doesn't fall in the damn shower. I don't know that that would matter, but regardless, I'm trying to be careful. I'll have like a little table set up next to me with some water, some juice, maybe like a snack or something. Like, I give myself the 5-star treatment when I do these goddess baths, and I think people should. I think I've found those little battery operated things for like super cheap online, or like at a party store, Walmart, you can get like battery operated lights for super cheap. Michael's might have them too. If you have YouTube, that's all I have. Like, I don't have like a record player. For a musician, I don't have a record player, so like just throw a sound on, anything that makes you feel like you're about to just soak in the most luxurious bath. And I have an incredibly vivid imagination, so like sometimes if I'm feeling really brave, I'll put my eye mask on and I'll just like go places in my brain. Like, that bathroom transforms into an epic castle with, you know, a big stone walk-in jacuzzi tub. Like, I walk on flower petals, okay? Like, and I just get to do that. And I don't know, you know, if you have an active imagination like me, like, and you like to write, you know, I'm talking to writers, like, it's time to turn that shit on yourself and just take yourself places and just imagine yourself being taken care of the way I think you take care of your characters. Some of y'all don't take care of your characters. Some of y'all are awful to your characters, and so maybe you really need this bath. Take care of yourself in that way. Yeah, I guess I needed to share that one with you. Dry brushing before bath is something that my mom really advocates advocates for. And it's supposed to like stimulate things in the body, and it helps you like stay young and stuff. And so I guess we're just doing bathroom things for the time being, but before taking a shower, I believe. I don't recall my mom saying anything about baths, and I do feel like my very robotic brain is saying that baths and showers are just not the same thing, and my mom specifically said a shower. So Mom, if you're watching this, comment below if it matters. But brush, you get like a big ass brush, like a body brush, and you just like in circular motions from feet up, I believe, you just kind of like stimulate stuff in the body that makes your, I don't know, but I hear great things about it. My mom's not the only person I heard it from, but my mom was the first person I heard that from. So that too. I'm an incensey witch. Like, I do a lot of incense magic and conjuring and alchemizing. I should just say I do a lot with channeling with incense, and so incense is relatively cheap. That being said, I live in New Mexico, and I have a couple of shops here in town that I go to, and I prefer them because I know that they're handmade and they're very transparent about what products and ingredients they're using, and I have like a decent relationship with one of the shop owners of the two places I go to, and so I say all that to say, like, incense is cheap, yes. I do have like bulk incense that are just kind of like moon, sun, earth, planets, you know, and it has like a lot of like pungent aroma, and that's not what I'm talking about. So this would probably be a great opportunity for anybody who either knows any shop owners that sell like good affordable incense that you can use to do your own channeling, but it also is great to channel for yourself. Like I said, I lit that incense in my bath, like while I was bathing, to like take myself and channel myself into a place where I was just really taken care of in my own mind at that point. So just suggestion. But incense in general, like, I don't just do it when I'm bathing and channeling. I do it when I'm cooking. God, it like saves me from the cat food smell, that's for sure. And then sometimes I'm just here, you know, chilling, disassociating, whatever you want to call it, and I just want the room to smell nice. And it's just a nice way to just be like, yeah, I like the way things smell. And it's not just incense. Like, I have, you know, good candles, oils with the little like tea lights and stuff like that. So like whatever, like if you're an aromatic person, like it, you know, with essential oils, I say be careful, because like you don't want to inhale like toxic chemicals that are used as fillers for the cheaper ones, I believe. Like, I've heard things like that, so do your research. I believe doTERRA is like the most popular one, but I've also used like the 365 brand, and there's like another one at Natural Grocers I'll have to check on, and I can get back with you guys probably about that. But yes, aromatics to just exist in your own space because it feels nice is like, it's a very inexpensive way to just alter your environment a little bit. Like I said, you know, there's a cat in my house, and his food is what the vet calls a mouse in a can, basically, and it's just, he loves it so much, and good for him. I, on the other hand, it gets to me sometimes. Sometimes I can ignore it, most times I can't, and so I always have the place smelling nice. It's a good way to just alter your environment for whatever reason you want to. If you find scents that you really like, because you just like them, or instead of using sage sticks, I use incense. I use sage incense instead. So just incense are a really great and affordable way to alter your environment in whatever way you're setting your intentions. And your environment can also just be your temple, which is you. Tattoos, let's just be fucking real. We're adults, I hope. I have a lot of tattoos, a lot more than I think I ever really let on, and counting. And man, I get the itch. After the first one, and that's, I'm not gonna get into that, but after my first tattoo, I kept going back. I kept having more things, more ideas, more cover-ups, and then I finally started like being able to like find really good artists and do all of that. So tattoos though, there's something about it, and this is just for people who have had tattoos or who kind of understand what I'm talking about here when I say this, because there's gonna be like another group of people in the world that are like, why would tattoos be considered self-care? Listen, like, I'm talking to a specific kind of person. Tattoos are self-care. I get the itch every year around springtime. I get the itch, which is like kind of the worst time to have tattoos if you live in like a sunny climate, actually, but my situation is sensory based, and so I just have to take care of myself in different ways. But yeah, for me, every springtime around my birthday, that's the birthday present I actually want. Like, people always ask me, what do you want for your birthday? Some flippin' ink, yo. Just something, a little something, just take the edge off, okay? Like, gosh. I want it to be like that with piercings, but like, on the real, I'd rather be scraped for 8 to 12 hours straight than stabbed for 4 seconds. I actually really hate being stabbed in every way. I can't. And my ear holes keep closing up, so like, I don't have earrings in anymore because like, I got them pierced freaking 8, I think, years ago, and they still don't want to stay here. So I decided to stop arguing with them. I don't know how I've managed to keep this in. I really don't. And if that ends up being ready to leave, I'm more than happy to accommodate, because my sensory stuff, I can't do uncomfortable things. Not for aesthetics. Like, I can't. It actually puts me in a bad place. So I can't do like constant forever discomfort. So I was like, you know what, ear holes, I'm gonna let you have this. You can be free. No more for you. But tattoos, oh my gosh. I have so many ideas. And then my uncle, who is an insanely beautiful artist, he has drawn a couple of things for me, and I'm just over here like, I've got a laundry list now of things, and I'm just over here like, yo, tattoos are self-care. Like, I'm ready. I have so much self-care lined up. So tattoos, I needed to say that. Skincare in general, I would say, like moisturizing though, and I mean like moisturizing not because you're just like quickly trying to make sure that you have a little bit on your knees and your elbows and in the crevices of the fingers. I need to be doing that though. But intentionally using products, and I say that because I have a Marshall's nearby. I hope y'all have a Marshall's or a Ross nearby, because you can find like really, really like expensive dermatological grade skincare products for like hella stupid cheap at Marshall's and Ross. I've been super, super blessed to have one so close by, because like, my skin, I turned 29 and my skin decided to just abandon me, and now it's just, we have 3-month check-ins ever since then. It's been a few years now of I just know around the 3-month mark, even if I still have product left, it doesn't work for me anymore. Like, it just doesn't. And when like a skincare product, you know, is costing $50, it's just like, I ended up at a certain point just giving up and just letting my skin be complete ass. And I was washing my face with like Dial pump soap and like throwing a like body and hand lotion like in those big industrial bottles on my face, and just like not giving a single care. And then I ended up like discovering like other ways, and then I got like free samples at my old job, but mostly I had, you know, Marshalls and Ross, and now that I've moved away, I'm just like so blessed and lucky, because like my skin actually really does like, you know, Korean skincare products and things like that, Japanese skincare products, and also just like Caribbean skincare products and African skincare products. And so like it just depends on like what I'm using what for, that it works. And so now my skin, even though I'm still like not where I want to be with my skin, oh my gosh, I am so glad that I keep pushing to do better for myself, is the moral of that story. So skincare, let's talk about just doing a little bit better. And this is not just for the ladies, I'm talking to everyone. Y'all all need to do skincare better. Like, I'm tired of seeing people use a 3-in-1 shampoo. Like, it makes me so upset. Unless that really works for you and nothing else does. Like, I know a couple people were just like, no, literally it's the only thing. And I'm just like, you know what? Maybe you're just like a cheap date then. Good for you. I'm not even gonna hate on it. Stretching and making weird noises, and I put them together because, like, listen, I know that to some people that might like plop into this channel, I'm pretty young, but like, oh my gosh, when you have a series of mental illnesses followed by a series of chronic body illnesses, it just like, whenever I see pictures of myself doing like activities from like years ago, I'm flabbergasted. I really am. I now have to be so careful, because if I whip my head around too quickly because somebody said something weird, like, I'm gonna get a Charlie horse in my neck. And this is a true story. This has happened to me. I get like, oh my gosh, like my lower back feels like someone just trampled it. Seriously, it feels like someone trampled it. So I've been using like lidocaine patches and electric heating pads. I'm pointing at it like you can see it. It's over there, my heating pad. Because I've just been like having such a hard time getting like my body going after all of just boom, 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 all that crap. So I'm just coming to terms with the fact that my body is just like really gonna take some time to get to where I think it can be, where I know that it could be. Not weight, just flexibility and durability. I used to go on a lot of walks, haven't been doing that. Granted, it's hot as hell outside, so oh my gosh, like, no, like I would have to get up early, and I have been enjoying sleeping in, because that was my next one, sleeping in. But before that, every time I stretch, I just make weird noises, and it's okay. I don't, like, I'm a human, and things hurt sometimes, or feel uncomfortable, or feel really good, and my throat and stomach want to affirm my experience, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, and I think more people need to just be real about the fact that that's what they do too, okay? So I just be like, ugh, like, I wish you could hear, oh my gosh, like 18 bones in my elbows and my shoulders cracked when I did that, and I'm just like, I can just, that's good. And I feel better. I feel better. I feel better. That felt good. It gives me a little boost of energy, and then I can kind of deepen my stretches more intentionally every time I feel the urge to stretch, but also every time I'm like, okay, like, let's give ourselves a time to stretch. Like, let's do that. I've just been like rolling around on the ground just carefully with my body, listening to it and making sure I'm not like injuring, and just stretching places that feel tight. And that has been such a wonderful part of my day when I do it. I don't do it every day. I don't give myself, you know, the ultimatums of every single day I'm gonna do a thing. And yeah, sleep in if you can. Like the nanosecond you can sleep in, or the nanosecond you can fit a nap in, the nanosecond you can close your eyes and tear yourself away from all of the blue light and the yellow light and all of the lights and all of the noise and all of the things and all the responsibilities, if you could just give yourself a second to just close your eyes, even if you don't sleep, even if you're just focusing on the sound of the air conditioner, give yourself that. That is loving yourself and taking care of yourself in a very important way. Your eyes will thank you. I think that we need to just be like saying nice things to ourselves a lot more. So like, even if it sounds absurd, just affirm the first thing you think about yourself. Usually my favorite thing to say is that I'm a good bean. Like bean, like a bean. I'm a good bean. And I think everybody has the potential to be a good bean, even if they don't feel like a good bean. I think you're already a good bean. It's in there already. Maybe you're feeling like the bad bean. Maybe it's like okay bean energy, but affirm that you are what you feel like you are in the moment. If you feel like a badass bitch, if you feel like a fucking king, if you feel like, you know, divinity, if you feel like the goodest being, just be that. And just say that to yourself. And give that to yourself randomly too. Like, I used to feel like I only had the right to affirm myself whenever I did something astronomical. Just like, it had to be so good. And it was because, like, if I were left to my own devices, which, like, for the past little while now I have been, I would speak a lot better to myself than I think people are comfortable with. And I started doing that because I was like, you know what, but it's not that I'm not giving it back, it's that I'm also pouring back into me. So I was like, why do I have to like degrade myself in order to make other people feel really good about themselves when I could just give it to both of us? And I started doing that, and I'm like, I've always loved pouring into people. I felt really uncomfortable for a little while pouring into me, and now I'm like, sometimes I'd be telling people to tell me that I am because I know I am. And, you know, I used to say it as a joke, but now I'm like, no, I gotta be good to me. You know, I'm good to others, I'm good to me. I think people need to be good to themselves. So, like, say that with your chest, whatever that is. But it's gotta be nice. You gotta be nice to yourself. I'm led to tell you the universe does not like to leave a void. And so, whatever you feel is lost, whatever that feeling of loss is, that's not loud, it's kind of hitting like the back, like the base of the neck for you, just kind of like in here, whatever that is. I'm sorry. And those things needed to go. You deserve to be free of the burden of whatever it was that is no longer there, that feels empty now. And I think that that's why we're talking about ways in which you can take care of yourself. Put some frozen fruit in your water. Just romanticize the shit out of your life as much as you can. As much as you can. You can be so good to yourself. And your expectations moving forward, once you get into the swing of this, will be much higher. And yes, it will limit your scope of options, but that is a path that you are on. And I'm led to say that that's the road that you're taking, and now it is taking shape. Which means you are about to learn a lot about things that on paper sound great but are in practice going to make you uncomfortable, and you have got to stick with this, because this is what fills that void. This, what you are being led down, whatever it is that you are being prepared for, whyever it is we're talking about taking care of ourselves in any way that we can and romanticizing our lives, is because this course that you're on, you know, when this becomes this consistent thing that you have in your life, this self-care, this path, this is going to be the most integral part of the destination you keep manifesting. And that is the reason why you will be revolutionary, the way that you know you were called. I didn't know that this was where this was going. This is why you will be revolutionary. What the divine put in here, you're not nuts. You saw that. That's real. And the revolutionary part of it is just how much you embrace taking care of yourself, and how much you allow the divine to lead you in the ways in which you yourself will develop that skill for yourself as an individual. What I'm talking about in this video, that's just like little things that I've picked up, or little things that I came up with, or things that, you know, people have done for me, you know, and or introduced me to. And I think that if I didn't pass that on, like, who would I be? But also there's a few of them in there that I came up with myself, because like I looked at the world and I was like, I want that too. And I'm like, well, what's stopping me? My mind and my reality? No. And so I think like that's going to be a version of that. There is going to be a version of that for you on this journey, this leg. You're going to be able to like cultivate your own ways, and you'll be able to share those skills with others that you know, find community in. But that's just like a pit stop on whatever it was that you were put in charge of going forward. You were given a divine assignment. You're in charge of something. And you're not crazy. You saw it, it's gonna happen. And you are being prepared for 33. You're being prepared for the responsibility, the burden, and the abundance of that assignment. That void that you feel, start filling that up for yourself. Some of that is on you. You have to show up for you. You always have to show up for you. And not in some selfish way. This isn't selfishness. This is stuff that we should be teaching each other how to do. Because the more that we can take care of ourselves, oh my gosh, like, if people actually understood how important it is for us to take care of us, ourselves, us having connection with our own bodies without shame, with our own senses without shame or guilt, and how silly it may look or how over the top and dramatic it might seem to others, like, no, we gotta quit all that shit. Every time we take care of us first, we have so much to give back. it trickles into everything. That is the ripple effect of healing. It literally goes everywhere. And I think that lesson, you're going to be learning that in a very specific and unique and tailor-made way. But you got to start somewhere. And so if there are other ideas that you want to drop in the comments that came to mind as I was talking, or if others of you out there have some tips for those, you know, that you believe that could help others, that, you know, could really use some tips and stuff, plop it in the comments. I'm really glad we had this talk. Again, did not know that this is where we were going with this. I thought we were just gonna talk about incense, actually, because it was just like the only thing my brain like was doing when I got the download that I was going to be doing a reading, or not a reading, but like a channeling. It was just kind of like, okay, you're going to do a video, and I'm just like, all right, you know, what are we doing? And they're just kind of like, just sandalwood specifically, and I'm like, this is the second time you told me to use sandalwood. And so it was just like a really weird thing where I was just like, okay, I guess we're talking about smells and incense. Hell yeah. And now we're here, and I'm telling you, like, you're not crazy. You're about to do that shit. So romanticize your life a lot more. Start getting in the habit of rewarding yourself for the little things in healthy ways, in ways that feed you soul deep. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, do that. Romanticize, like, make everything healthy a big fucking deal. Like I said, when I stretch, I make weird ass noises now. It's the most dramatic thing I've ever done. Like, I was actually in school to be a yoga instructor, and oh my god, like, I would feel so uncomfortable making a peep if it weren't in sync with, like, the breath and, like, the cues of breaths. And now I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. Everything that I do elicits a sound, because I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, being a human being in this flesh prison is so complicated, and I get to feel something about that, and that's just me getting to be dramatic, and that's me romanticizing my life. Whatever that is for you, that's gonna be the lesson. You may not be anything like me, but if this resonates with you in any way, drop something in the comments. Let's help each other, take care of each other, and remember to take care of ourselves. Let's be accountable to that. I'm gonna go take care of me by doing whatever the fuck I want to when I get off this video. I love you guys so much. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, babies. Mwah.